If you're looking to 5 or maybe even 10x your SMMA this year, then this video is for you. Look, everybody wants to do social media management nowadays, and that's just way too saturated to start and scale, especially in the year of 2023. So in this video, I'm going to talk about a service that you can start and scale this year that if you do it right, will get you to $5,000 to $10,000 a month and beyond very, very easily. My name is Will Ross. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm not going to waste any more of your time. Let's get right into the video. Now, I'm not going to hide this service anymore. It's lead gen or lead generation, specifically for local businesses, restaurants, venues, things like that, as opposed to websites, e-commerce businesses, and things in that niche. A lot of people, when they start a social media marketing agency, have the idea that they would like to get into the e-commerce business because it's more scalable. Well, the reality is that it's just not anymore. There's way too many people in this space now that are trying to start their own agencies with the same exact services. That sticking out from the crowd has never been harder unless you switch the way that you think about your services and who you're delivering them to. Look, I know firsthand that ever since I've started my social media marketing agency back in January of last year, that it's become way harder to get clients just doing, creating and scheduling posts. And what I've needed to do is add more services to my agency in order to keep my business going. So lead generation, where can you start? Well, to start, you have to know what it is. Basically, for local businesses, restaurants, venues, things of that sort, you're getting more people in the door through email marketing, SMS marketing, word of mouth, and like maybe even physical flyers or things like that. Now that you understand what lead generation is, it's obviously a very important part of owning a local business is getting traffic through the doors in the first place, considering it's not as easy to just go to a store as it is to go online, buy something online. So the first outreach method I'm going to be talking about, I don't think a lot of you are going to like, and that's cold calling. The reason why I say not a lot of you are going to like it is because it requires you actually talking to a person over the phone. I think a lot of people in this space want to get an email of a potential client, email them, sell it to them, and then like outsource it to a freelancer without ever having to talk to a client. And realistically, that's just not a good business model. Cold calling is way harder to deny someone when they're talking to you as opposed to an email where they just don't even have to read it in the first place. I'll get to how you can do that a little bit better later in this video, but the second outreach method is obviously Upwork. Now, specifically within Upwork, you're just going to want to type restaurants, retail, or venue, and there should be thousands of jobs around the United States and the world where you can find local businesses to work in, whether like that's a restaurant, whether that's like a sports shop, a boutique, a wedding venue, a photography booth, things like that, that you can really just start your business on Upwork so that you can get that first case study and then start your outreach organically once you have some good case studies. The third outreach method is Looms via email or DM. Looms are pretty much short videos, maybe 1 to 5 minutes. I would probably keep it on the shorter end, where you're analyzing their business, where they can use your services, and just kind of creating a call to action at the end of it so that they can book a call with you at the end once they, complete the whole video. You can make several of these per day, and you can send them via email or DM on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, things like that. Now that we've covered outreach, I want to talk about service delivery. Service delivery is obviously the most important part, but the hardest part is outreach. Once you've done the hard part, you've gotten a client, you've gotten to sell them, now you're going to deliver your service so that you can create a good case study to use for the other clients that you're going to get in the future. So lead gen, as far as my knowledge goes, is done in two main ways, and that's email marketing and SMS marketing. So email marketing, I've obviously talked a lot about on this channel, but it's pretty much just getting people to sign up through an incentive or a discount, and that's as easy as implementing a landing page on their website, a pop-up form, something that's really easy to sign up once they're, checking out at the counter. For restaurants, it may be something as simple as putting it at the bottom of the check, like you get 10% off your meal today if you sign up for our email newsletter. Something like that can go a long way because people always want a discount. People always want to get something for free, and the larger the incentive, the more likely they are to sign up for that email. I would recommend creating a newsletter through MailChimp, creating a landing page through MailChimp. It's just the easiest interface that I've used, especially when I was a beginner in email marketing. It was really easy to figure things out fast and then offer that service to my clients. So once you have their email, you're not done quite yet. You're going to want to keep the calendar up to date with emails, everything from offers, new meals if it's a restaurant, new deals if it's a retail store, maybe a seasonal sale for a venue. It really just depends on what local business you're dealing with. But once you know kind of the year's timeline, you're going to create an email content calendar, if you will, like you would in social media, and you pretty much just create an aesthetically pleasing email that would talk to them about their offer, talk to them about, hey, we're glad you came in, we're glad you put your email in. If you enjoyed our 10% discount, then you're really going to enjoy, some something down the line that we've got going on right now. It really depends on whatever's going along with the business, but you're pretty much emailing them, not spamming them. You're going to email them like, maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks, nothing that's like, emailing them every single day. And you're going to want to make sure you stay out of their spam folder by making sure their domain is warm and that they've got multiple domains as well. You can use softwares like Apollo or Instant AI. Things like that will make sure that you don't, burn out your domain. They give you multiple of them, and there's a lot of videos on the internet of how you can do that effectively. It's really not that hard. So email marketing is covered. Now that you've got a good basis and a good understanding of what it is and the benefits that can come from it, I'm going to talk about SMS marketing now, which is essentially the same thing, not really, but it's text messages. So for example, I used to do SMS marketing for a bar in my college town, and essentially what we did was create a small little QR code, put it up near the checkout, and if people scanned it, they got 10% off their order. And now every time people are downtown, say it's a Friday night at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, we would send out an SMS text message that is scheduled for that night, so that when they're downtown, they think of that bar and they're like, hey, yeah, this bar's got something going on. Maybe we send out like a deal, or maybe like a, some kind of event or karaoke or live, whatever it may be. And the people were flooding through the door. I mean, it really worked very, very well and brought them a ton of followers as well on social media. But besides the point, you can create an SMS marketing strategy through multiple different ways, through multiple different niches and local businesses as well. For a retail store, for example, we're coming up on spring here in a couple of months, and if I'm doing SMS marketing for them, I would kind of list some spring sports like baseball. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but like baseball is a huge one in the spring. And if you start the SMS marketing strategy early in the winter all the way through spring, and you're telling them about good deals for like different baseball gear, maybe you have a training kind of session that they do as well. If you're nurturing them so that by the time the season comes, they know where to go for their stuff, then it's going to lead to a lot of revenue that they're going to have that they wouldn't have had otherwise. SMS marketing is definitely less frequent than emails. That being said, when you have a big event or a big promotion or a big sale going on, it's definitely useful to use SMS marketing. And if they don't use it, you need to pitch to them that they need to start using it right away. So like I said, there are tons of softwares out there that you can use for SMS marketing. All you have to really do is create a QR code or create a number that they can text. And then once they do that, it creates a list, and you can create a campaign through that list of people that have signed up, and then really send whatever text you want from there. So we've covered the outreach, we've covered service delivery. Now, how can you get a client with no case studies? It's really a good question, and a lot of people have this question within the SMMA space, but what I would recommend is have a very, very solid offer. For example, this, in my opinion, works for many local businesses, especially if they're not implementing it. So what I would do if I was starting a lead gen agency from scratch is I would say, I'm going to offer you this service, and if it doesn't work, you don't pay a dime. It's pretty much a no risk, no reward kind of thing, where if I'm charging them $500, that's a very low ticket client. If I'm charging them $500 and I don't get them any results through like, a month or 2 months, they get their money back. Now, if you can prove yourself in this space and you start doing different methods for like, let's say restaurants in your area, and you know what works, like it's pretty much guaranteed to work, then you can start an email cold campaign that says, hey, I know how to do email marketing for your restaurant. If you pay me and I don't get you any results, you get all the money back. But obviously you intend to drive results for them so that they don't pay you back. The more that you can incentivize them to go with your agency, the better. I like to call this no results, no pay. And you can kind of talk to them about that on the phone. You can talk to them about that, via Upwork, via email. A lot of people on Upwork will demand a lot upfront. So if you can kind of come across on Upwork and say, hey, like, my hourly rate says this, but if I don't drive you any results, you don't have to pay me anything, then I bet you a ton of local businesses would love to have you on their team. Look, it's all about learning, and you learn the most when you get actual hands-on experience. So do your best to land one client by having a really good offer them a really good service delivery, and then use those case studies to snowball into other clients, or you can 5-10x your agency in 2023 and beyond. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you did stick around, please hit the like and subscribe button. I make these types of videos 2 times a week, as well as a podcast on Saturdays. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.